Hey, okay, so I'm back, part 7 of this mini-series. The next piece is about, I guess, the techniques and the methods that I've used that have been really helpful. I'm not going to talk about like treatment-specific things here. I'm not going to talk about antibiotics. I'm not going to talk about things I've done with naturopaths, homeopathic medicine, any of that, because I think that's different. Treatment and techniques to me are just the everyday things you do at home. So first, nutrition. I think that one's pretty obvious. There's just from the very beginning, when I knew something was wrong, I immediately did a deep dive into gut health and started applying a lot of theory and principles there. Especially at that point, the doctors were leaning towards a diagnosis that fit into the autoimmune category. So I knew with the majority of your immune system being in your gut, that if I could focus there, perhaps I could make a difference. It's a really simple blanket statement for all of the things over all of the years, but nutrition, of course, is a huge, huge piece. And like I had mentioned in one of my last videos, that is something I'm here to help you with on my Instagram. Loads and loads of content coming this year with tips, tricks, guides, all sorts of things that you can use to maybe help you as well with the management of your symptoms and management of your illness. And then over time, as I release the universal Lyme diet, the step-by-step framework that I've developed for managing symptoms, managing this illness, and nourishing your body and rebuilding your body to take you through treatment and beyond. That's something I'm working on creating and bringing out into the world. So nutrition, that would be one of the first, I guess, tools and resources. Second is mindset, which I talked about at length in an earlier video. So I think I don't need to expand on that any further. You can go backwards and watch those ones. Another piece of a technique or a tool that has been extremely helpful is tracking. This is something I'm also working on bringing out to you, is a very detailed video tutorial and like a PDF you can use. It's the same one that I use. It's the way I've been keeping track for years now, and I don't think I've had a single doctor yet who hasn't been completely surprised and excited about the records I give them, because bottom line is that they don't have a lot of time to read. One, if you're writing your notes to them for them to understand it in your own handwriting, it's not helpful. Typed, definitely better, but like they don't have time to read pages and pages of information. You need to organize it in a way that's systematic, categorical, and really easy to see trends really quick. So having a really good tracking system for your symptoms is huge for helping your doctors and your medical team help you. The third resource and tool for me has been movement. Huge piece of my journey. It's not about a workout. It's not about any physical attributes that come from a workout. It affects your mental health incredibly. It affects your mental health. That's a huge part of it. But I started this when I was having a really hard time with life in general. Some days for me, a hard workout was walking for 5 minutes on the treadmill at a 0% incline, and the speed was the lowest, like 0.5. But I kept doing it, and I kept doing it. And every day I showed up and did what was hard that day. And some days that is rest, and that's okay. I'm not saying you have to move every day in a way that's really hard. But building that mental muscle of I can do hard things has carried me extremely well through all of these years. And I mean, if you've been watching all of these videos, you know I was completely dependent for care from my husband. Couldn't walk, I couldn't sit up. So for me, doing 20 to 30 minutes a day of really intentional, really well thought out movement, not planned by myself. I'm not an exercise specialist. following a really good plan from someone who knows what they're doing, that helped me a lot in the physical rehabilitation of my body. My goal isn't to get really strong. My goal isn't to get really defined muscles, but my goal is to have strength and stability and ease and comfort with movement. So that has been pivotal for me too. I do run like an online community using all the programs that I've used over the years. So if you're looking for something like that, you can always reach out. I'd be happy to share more about it with you. Whether you want to join or you want some of the free resources for it, just please let me know, because if you aren't moving, I really, really think it could be one of the biggest pieces for you, physically and emotionally. So those are kind of my big set of tools and techniques. Okay, so I will see you next for part number 8.